What makes most women start a business? Is it passion, money, or freedom? Welcome to the Female Founders, the podcast that takes you behind the scene with women who are founders and CEOs to help you start and scale a successful business of your own. I am your host, Nagilia de Ravin. Hello everyone! Today I'm so happy to have Annie Minogue with us today. She is the founder of Annie Minogue Band and also the co-creator and executive producer of two amazing concert series. Today we will be talking about her journey and also her band new music and what inspired her to be a singer. Good morning, Annie. How you doing today?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
I am doing great, but I'm also so excited to have you with us. Especially you are a singer. When I was a kid, I loved to sing, but I was also a little bit scared of the crowd. Don't get me wrong, but it was fun, and it's amazing to actually talk into a singer, someone that's been doing it for so long. But can you tell us a little bit about your journey? What inspired you to start a band or to even want to be a singer?
Well, I don't know if you know this or not, but my family is very musical. And my sister is in a wonderful group called, give her a little plug here, the Violet Mine. And my cousin is also a musician as well. She has her own group. We're all different musically, but we all work together musically as well. And it just seems to gel. But it really all started from my father. My father is a recording artist, a songwriter, a singer, a producer. He produced all of Jim Croce's records and has had success. With bands Cashman, Pistilli, and West, and then as a solo artist, Terry Cashman, and that's really where it all started.
Oh, pretty much you're just following the footsteps.
Absolutely. It was predestined. There was no choice but to do music. Not in my household anyway, so.
Well, I'm guessing when you're raised in a house, that's like if your father, that's what he's doing, music is always playing around, right?
Exactly. It's a very positive role model, and you want to follow that. You want to be doing what Papa does. So
absolutely, and I can imagine you as a kid. Your dad is playing music, and you're just standing there dancing and trying to see if you can say the words yourself.
Well, apparently, this is a story that goes back a little bit. I don't really remember this, but my parents were having a party and I did the whole score to Oliver. And when people were like, great, yay, that's great. She sang one song. I was like, I'm not finished yet. And I did the entire, score. So
I'm not finished yet. Sit there.
There of every song in that movie and in that play. I think it was a play as well. So.
Oh my God, this is so amazing. Sit there. I'm not done yet. Don't even think about moving.
Exactly. People were like, that's great. Can we get back to the party now? And I was like, no, you can't because I'm not done. but yeah.
It's amazing though. But your music combines rock, pop, and also blues. Why do you decided to go with these three? Why combining these three?
I think it's just naturally what comes out and what's inherent in our music, especially now. Our music has gone through a lot of changes over the years. I'm not the same artist that I was 10 years ago, but many artists are not. The whole thing about being an artist is to evolve, and your artistry evolves along with that. So you change. And the new record, I think, really represents where we are stylistically now, for sure. And that incorporates rock, which I love. And there are blues elements and of course, pop, because we are, as much as we would not like to admit it, we are very commercial. So our songs tend to be more commercial.
More commercials. But how many albums do you have out there?
This will be our fourth. We've had a couple of singles here and there, but this is going to be our fourth record.
Do you have a date for the new album?
We don't have a date yet. I will say 2025. I hesitate to say a date and then we don't meet that date.
That date. I agree with you on that.
I learned that a long time ago.
But you also, what's the album? What's the theme of the album?
Yes, well, the new record will be called Suburbia, and we're working on artwork now for that. In fact, I have a meeting this week about that, and we're working on, revamping the website and getting all of our branding done and in preparation for the new release. We did release a song last year in anticipation of the election called Now, which will be on the new record. And it was a very successful campaign. It ended in December of last year, but we're really proud of it. And it's still going. It's still, getting out there to the people. And we still put it in all of our sets, and we'll be on the new record, as I mentioned.
Why now?
Because it's important. Our country needs it. It's a battle cry. And what resonates in that song, I think, is very important for what is happening in the world right now.
We need hope, don't we?
That's what we need, yeah. And I believe that even though Now talks about a lot of things through history and where we've come from and where we are now, no pun intended, it is about hope. It is about making change and doing something.
You know what's so amazing, Annie? You can have a very bad day. The country can be going to hell, and one song can change it all.
That's
and
right.
I've seen it happen, and it's amazing when it's happened. How you sad, you crying, you having the wall stay up in the wall. Probably it's the end of it, actually. And then that one song just make you pause and then enjoy life.
Exactly. That's what music is all about. It's supposed to take you out of good music.
Yes.
It's supposed to take you out of yourself and transport you. And, I feel that way with my favorite artists as well. So, they can bring me to another place when I'm just feeling really lousy. So
lousy, not where you want it to be. But it's you chose that career. I know that Papa, create the path, but you could have changed that path because there's children growing up that doesn't follow the parents,
Right.
But why you decided from childhood to adulthood to continue that? Is it something on that that's bringing you a lot of joy? What is it exactly?
Well, music, again, it was kind of predestined for me to be a musician and do this with my life. And it is a very hard career. I'm not going to say that it isn't. There are a lot of ups and there are a lot of downs, and you have to be able to run the course because there's going to be a lot of rejection. Not everything is awards and accolades. There's going to be a lot of disappointment.
Yes.
And you have to have it. This is in any field, by the way, not just music. Even with your career, other people that are out there working in the workforce, there's a lot of competition to get jobs, especially now with everything changing, right? And the way the economy is, and even in the dating world, the same thing, finding a mate, right? You go through a lot of, you may be dating and seeing a lot of different people, and, is that the one for me? I don't know. And I like this guy better, or I like this girl better. And, you kind of go through all of that. So you just have to have a thick skin, and you have to have passion. You have to have dedication, because that, I think, is definitely what keeps me going.
Definitely,
and
yes.
To be authentic with what I'm trying to say. To me, that's the most important thing in music is authenticity. To be real, because people can spot a fake a mile away. So I've been advised to do many things in my career. Change my band, be a solo artist, do a different kind of music, do this, do that. And I'm not proud to say it, but I have followed the advice of some people, and I have to be honest with you, they were not right. I did it, and it didn't bring me any closer to what I wanted to achieve. And they swore that it would. So you have to know yourself, know your music, know your art, and be true to yourself. And that's what I'm trying to do now at this point in my life and in my career.
You have to follow what your heart desire, not what other people want you to do. It's like when I think advice are great, don't get me wrong. Some people will give you some great advice. But what I always tell people is when you receive all of them, on the table. I don't know if you want to write them in a piece of paper, lay them all down. Do they really make sense to you at all? Because not every advice are worth following. And also, I feel like sometimes people give you advice, they're not coming from the heart. Actually, I feel like sometimes they want to see you fail. They will give it to you so they can watch you fail.
Sometimes, I mean, you have to, again, know yourself, know your art, and surround yourself with people that get you. That's the
Mm-hmm.
key. That get what you do, get your music, and that love it, and want to help
Yes.
you succeed, and want to help you get to that next level. And it's a hard road to navigate. It really is.
I believe so too. I think it's anything, like you said, it's not just music. It doesn't really matter which career path you pick. You are going to meet great and not too great people. And it's
Exactly.
you gonna have to figure it out. Even if your mom, I think even if your mom come to you and said, you know what, you shouldn't be a nurse, you should go be a doctor, or you shouldn't be a singer, go get a job and work at McDonald's. It's up to you to choose which path you want to pick.
Exactly.
It's not your mom's life anymore. She
That's
can
right.
advise you, but she cannot make the decision for you anymore.
It's your life.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Exactly.
the same way you have to look at it for everyone else. Some people might be in the industries for years, but a lot of time they haven't learned anything really to pass on to anybody.
Right. You have to know what's right for you. So that's very
Yes,
key.
but with A&B music has been featured in across film, televisions, and radio. How these exposures impacted your career and also the band reach?
We have been very fortunate to be able to be featured in some high profile programs and on TV and in film and on some radio stations. We've been very fortunate that people have accepted and liked and wanted our music, and that's the only hope that I can wish for. In this business, what I was going to say, going back to another question that you had, you can't expect anything in this business.
Yeah.
You have to be able to do it for the love of doing it. I'm not saying don't have goals, because I have many. I'm not saying don't wish for things, because I've wished for a lot. And some things I've gotten and a lot of things I haven't. And I'm not satisfied. There's so much more I want to do with the music and do with the band. And it's reaching that, that big dream, and sometimes it seems insurmountable, but you have to go for it, because wishing and hoping, that's what keeps you going in life. You got to have dreams. You have to. And again, we've achieved some of them, but not all of them. And I'm going to keep going until I achieve them, as long as
Absolutely.
yeah. But you
Quitting
can't
is never
expect
option.
anything. You can't be like, I'm going to do this and expect this as the reward, because it does not work like that.
I don't think it works like that for anything in life at all. Sometimes you can wake up at 2 in the morning and work until midnight and have 2 hours of sleep, and you still didn't bring any success with it. It's
Right.
just not
Exactly.
the right time. And also I think that hard work paid off eventually. If you keep on moving forward and you never quit, it will pay off eventually. It's having the passion and the love enough for what you do to decide
Absolutely.
that quitting is not an option.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself, for sure.
But Annie, as a woman, as a singer, you are managing a band. You are the
I
founder
am.
of the band.
I am. Yes.
So, in that industry that is male dominated, even though we have a lot of women singers, but it's still dominated by male.
Yes.
So, what are the challenges you have been facing that can help other women as well, from avoiding them or how to deal with them if they ever end up in that situation?
I just answered this question for another podcast that I'm going to be doing in February, as a matter of fact. And they asked me this very question. Being a woman in business is difficult. As you mentioned before, it is and can be difficult. A lot of doors have been open to us over the years, and many more doors will be knocked down. I can only hope. But it is always more difficult for a woman to succeed in any kind of business, I feel.
Yeah.
Whether it's recognition, respect, money, we face and fight against all of that. The equality that we deserve, we're still fighting for. And again, we've come a long way. I don't mean to say that we haven't, but there's still a lot more to do. And I have just found that, again, I stick to my ground. I don't, change because somebody tells me to change, and do something because somebody tells me to do it. You have to be true to your art, true to yourself, keep going. You have to remember you are not less than, you are equal. and you can do it as well as any man can do it or anyone else. But the industry is still very male oriented, as most industries are. So this is the world we live in. We're not gonna change that fact. All we can hope is that we can at least be on equal footing.
One point of time, and I think that us keep on moving forward, because
Yes.
the woman before us, I can imagine 1800 women
That's right.
fighting for the freedom. It was worse than it was today, and we have them to thank for standing up for themselves. If they did it, because right now would have been in the same situation they were back then, and I think, yes, great success have met. And I think we have, like you said, we still have a long way to go. And I think
Yes.
us, this generation, we are creating that path for the next generation and
Right.
seeing younger kids that are not afraid to stand up for themselves. When I was a kid, I probably wouldn't do that. I probably would just walk away because I didn't want to do that, or probably I would get blamed for it. But they don't. They just stand up and then they speak for themselves. And then I would just sit there and watch it. I'm like, you go, girl, do your thing.
Well,
Because,
I think parents are in parents who have little girls are empowering them.
yes,
I have nieces and they're very outspoken and wonderfully vocal, and I love that. And I want to be a role model for them as well. That they see their aunt doing this, and if they want to do this with their life at some point, they have the right to do that and the freedom to do that. It's no longer women should be seen and not heard. Because there was a time that was the case.
not anymore.
Right. Or women, should be in the kitchen and just doing that.
Nothing is bad with the kitchen, but I believe that we have more than that to offer than just the kitchen. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
we
100%.
we are great leaders. Just give us a chance to lead and you'll see how we
Exactly.
can do it.
And we're great leaders. I mean, it's not that taking away from taking care of our children or the homemakers, because that's very respected and valid. I'll call it an occupation. A lot of people don't. I'm going to call it an occupation because a lot of people don't really look at that as work. And it is taking care of
It's a
your
full-time
household.
job.
Of course it is. So, and you don't get paid for it.
No.
So, it's very important that women are seen as a whole, not one aspect of something, just as a whole, that we can be all these different things and still take care of our children, still take care of our home, and be leaders as well in the
Well,
workforce and out there doing it.
but you have worked with talented lineup of musicians. How do you collaborate in making such a dynamic within the band?
I love my band. I'm very fortunate. We've been together a very long time. We just had rehearsal last night for a show we have coming up on Thursday. And the synergy between us is just amazing. I'm so lucky and thank my stars every day that I'm working with these guys, because they make me a better musician, better songwriter, better performer, better singer, because I have to rise to their level. They're
That's
better
true.
than I am, so I have to rise to their level, or I'm going to get left behind or lost. So we just have a chemistry because we've been working together so long in a shorthand. And I want to give a shout out to my band right now, if I may. Nunzio Signori on guitar and Nick Saya on drums. He also produces our records with Nunzio, and he's my partner in songwriting, and couldn't do this without him. And Brian Karp is on bass, and they're all amazing musicians and amazing friends and amazing people. And I'm so fortunate to get to work with them all the time. So, and I'll also give a shout out to our keyboard player as well now, Rob Flores, who's been a longtime friend, incredible musician, and I'm so happy to have him on board now.
It seems like you are surrounded with a lot of great friends.
They are my best friends. They really are. I mean, we hang out outside of the band. We actually enjoy each other's company. I'm not saying that we don't have disagreements on, musical ideas once in a while, because we do. In fact, last night, Nick came up with, we should change the set, switch it around. We said, okay. And we did. And then at the end of it, we went, no, that doesn't work. We need to go back to the original set that we had.
Yeah.
Because the flow of the songs don't work. So, that happens. But we we generally like each other. There's no, fighting and rolling around on the floor and punching each other. We don't, because some bands have that. We don't, we don't have that kind of drama. There's no drama in this band.
So it's pretty much coming up with ideas together and be able to make it work or not, and agree on it or not, if it's going to work or not. And I think at the end of the day, also, it's not just for the band, but also it's for the listeners, right? It's for the
Yes.
followers, for the people who loves you guys, and that's who this song belongs to. So I guess the decision had to make number one for the fans.
Exactly. Well, you always want to come up with something new and different, even if you've been playing the songs for a while, which some of the songs we have. So in order to kind of make it new and different and fresh, we kind of change direction of it sometimes and come up with new parts and, that kind of thing, so that it remains fresh to us. The audience won't really know, because the audience may have not heard these songs a million times, but we have. Yeah. So in order to not get bored with playing them, we have to change things up and add new parts and add things. So that's what we're trying to do.
So after the album come out, I'm guessing you guys will be going to tours and then performing a lot more with that album itself.
That is my goal. Yeah, I'm right now preparing for the 2025 tour and reaching out to venues and promoters to get us booked in certain venues. But yeah, that is the goal, and to also tour outside the United States is my ultimate goal as well.
Ooh, that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's my ultimate goal.
But you also, Annie, you are the co-creator of two concert series,
yes,
like Fair Play. What inspired you to produce this event?
Well, Fair Play was the germ of that idea came from my sister, Meredith Minogue, who again is an incredible musician and singer and songwriter in her own right. She and my brother-in-law have a band called The Violet Mine, and I've sang backgrounds with them, and we've done shows together as a co-bell. But, we saw what was going on in the world at that time with families being separated. And we knew that we had to do being put in cages and everything that was going on at that point. And we knew we had to do something to bring attention to that and bring awareness to that in the only way that we knew how, which was music. So we decided to put together this concert called Fair Play, Concert for Justice, which benefited the Bronx Immigration Partnership, which, first of all, my sister and I are originally from the Bronx. We were born there. I grew up there a little bit, but we were both very young when we moved, but there's a connection there. It's not just something that we,
yes,
chose randomly, but also, and my sister also worked in that community at the time. So she had the contacts and the connections for this organization, which provides valuable help to this community, whether it's legal aid or educational seminars, financial assistance, that kind of thing, all these type of programs that they provide. So that's who we decided to do the benefit for. And we had two successful concerts one was remote because of COVID. And then the other one was a sold out show at the City Winery here in New York. And we had an array of different artists from, Walter Parks to Trixie Whitley to Tracy Bonham, Chris Difford from Squeeze, Robin Ford was in the other one, Richard Barone hosted. We had an array of amazing artists, and we also performed as well. So now we're working on the third installment, which will be Fair Play 2.0, and we're trying to put that together right now with another concert here in New York this year.
It's going to be in New York again in 2025?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But do you have a date yet for it?
We do not. We're having a meeting about it this week, as a matter of fact. Well, we're going to work on the logistics and put that together for later on this year.
That sounds like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I don't know the charity that we will do it for yet. We're still working that out as well. Maybe a little different from what we've done in the past.
But why giving back to community, to music, important to you?
It's important to share. It's important to make people aware of what's going on in the world. It's important to stand up for what you believe in. It's important to have boots on the ground. It's important to facilitate change. So.
And music is what you know. You use what you know.
And I use what I know. Exactly. This is the only way
What
I know how to give back.
to give back to community? But what challenges have you faced as a woman in the music industry?
Again, it's very hard. You're told no a lot. You're told no as you are. You're told no a lot. And I've seen the way there are differences, even with musicians that I've played with, of how women are treated versus how men are treated. There's a difference. And again, we're fighting for our place, as they say, and the respect that we deserve, and that we fought for, and that is warranted. So you just have to break through those obstacles, and be strong. And again, say, I'm here, I deserve it, I'm not less than.
For women to build a career in music or the arts, what advice would you offer to help them pursue that career and also overcome some obstacles? Because as we know, there's a lot of them out there.
Again, you have to be true to yourself, be true to your art, be true to what you are creating. Don't let somebody else lead you down a path that you're not comfortable with. I've done it, and I hated it. I've done it because this person told me to do it. It must be right. They have more power. They have more experience. They know what's going on. And that is not always the case, even though it may seem that way. You just have to really know yourself and know what you want to do and be sure about it, and, be forthright and straight and real and stick to your guns. And you'll get a lot done. And persistence is everything. Persistence and dedication. I drive people crazy sometimes with my persistence. So, but you have to be. If you're not, no one else is going to make it happen for you except you.
Okay. Except
in
you.
anything, in any facet of life. So you have to be strong-willed, and that's the way I was brought up. I had a mother who was very, very strong and taught, me and my sister to be strong and go for what it is that you want. And she was a big dreamer, and, that's to never give up. That's the only thing I know.
But
Obviously,
Annie, you
time.
sound like you had really two great parents to
I had parents that believed in what it is and were supportive in what it is that I do. So, yes.
But it's great. Sometimes not every kids are lucky to have parents like that, parents that
Correct.
they can follow the footsteps, or
Correct.
parents that even kind of guide them into what they're about to deal with. Because as a kid, you just enjoy life, right? Because somebody else is making all the decisions for you. And then you turn 18, it's like, yeah, you're going to start making some decision in your own. That's where life gets you. And it can be very confusing. And that's when a lot of teenagers fall down and they don't know what to do with their lives.
Exactly. Because they're not given any direction. The direction was very clear for me. And again, I had my father, who was a stellar example of, I can do this. And I'm talented enough to do this, and I want to do this, and this is what's in my heart, and he provided a very positive example of that. So,
something earlier also when you were talking about challenges, and I think that one of the good things with you as well is probably because you are surrounded by such amazing people, not just your family, but also the band themselves.
yes.
These are the people that that they have your back no matter what.
Yes.
You can rely on them. They will show up, they'll be there, and they'll support you.
Always. And that's so important. That loyalty is really important. And again, I'm very fortunate to be able to work with who I work with.
But how can people listen to your music, and even the new album coming out soon? Where will they be able to go to find it and listen to it?
Oh, we're everywhere. You can go. We are. We're everywhere. We're on YouTube. We're Spotify. We're Bandcamp. We're a website. We're at Facebook. It's Annie Minogue Band. .com is the website. We're working on the new one, but you can find us everywhere. There's music, there's videos, and soon there'll be a new CD, and you'll be able to stream it online as well.
And they'll be able to dance.
I hope so. We've got a couple of tunes that are very dance worthy, so I hope so.
But looking ahead, I know that you have the concert that's coming up soon. This year, you also have the new album. What are the other goals for Annie Band and other project, and what excited you about the feature itself?
Well, again, I'm so thankful for to meet with you today, and I thank you so much for having me on. Womel has been unbelievably supportive with their features and the award that I was just awarded. I'm over the moon. I'm so grateful to you guys because you've been really supportive of my career. Again, the concentration is just getting this new album out. It's been a long time in the making. So I have to get that out in order to move on to the next thing. There'll be 2 singles after that, but that's the priority right now is getting that out, touring, getting the band more opportunities in film and sync. We've been lucky enough to sign with a lot of places for sync licensing, so we're hoping to get some more placements and exciting things down the road. That's what we're hoping to do. Get the music out to the masses as much as we possibly can in any medium that we can.
But in other words, fill the people's heart with love and happiness.
I hope so. I hope so.
Well, thank you so much, Annie. It was a pleasure talking to you and getting to know and how you actually become a singer and why you continue it. It's great for the next generation to listen to things like that, to know that they can do it too. And also not just the next generation, but our generation, because some of us are still struggling to find our path in this world.
Yes, absolutely. Music is a bright spot for anyone. And, I would, as many people that want to do this as possible, I encourage you to do it for sure.
And by the way, how can they reach out to you?
Again, through the website, annieminogueband.com. So just go to the website and there is a form you could fill out. And I'd love to hear from you. So please keep in touch.
Thank you for listening to Female Founders Podcast. That's it for this week's episode. Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app or connect with us on womel.com so that you don't miss our next episode. See you next time. Bye for now.